story of ancient India unfolds like a magnificent tapestry, woven with threads of diverse civilizations, mighty empires, and cultural achievements that have profoundly influenced the world. From the sophisticated urban centers of the Indus Valley to the architectural marvels of medieval kingdoms, India's ancient history spans over 4 millennia of continuous human achievement, innovation, and cultural evolution. The dawn of civilization. The Indus Valley culture, c. 3300 to 1300 BCE. India's recorded history begins with one of the world's earliest and most sophisticated urban civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization. This remarkable civilization flourished in what is now Pakistan and northwestern India, representing humanity's first successful attempt at large-scale urban planning and sophisticated social organization. The civilization evolved through distinct phases, beginning with the pre-Harappan period, c. 7000 to 5500 BCE, characterized by Neolithic settlements like Marigar, which showed evidence of agricultural development and domestication of plants and animals. The early Harappan period, c. 5500 to 2800 BCE, witnessed the establishment of firm trade relations with Egypt, Mesopotamia, and possibly China, along with the construction of ports, docks, and warehouses near waterways. The mature Harappan period, c. 2800 to 1900 BCE, marked the civilization's zenith, with the construction of great cities including Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Ganeriwala, Lothal, and Dholavira. These cities were built according to standardized models and featured sophisticated urban planning, with well-laid streets, advanced drainage systems, and standardized weights and measures. The civilization eventually encompassed over 1,000 settlements spread across a vast area. By around 2600 BCE, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro had emerged as major urban centers, showcasing advanced engineering and architectural capabilities. The Harappan people developed a sophisticated script that remains undeciphered to this day, leaving much about their governance, religion, and social structure shrouded in mystery. The late Harappan period, c. 1900 to 1500 BCE, witnessed the civilization's decline, coinciding with climate change that caused flooding, drought, and famine. The loss of trade relations with Egypt and Mesopotamia, combined with the arrival of Indo-Aryan peoples from the north, contributed to the eventual abandonment of the great cities. The Vedic Age. Following the decline of the Harappan civilization, the Indian subcontinent witnessed the emergence of the Vedic culture, marking a pivotal transition in Indian history. The Vedic period, spanning from approximately 1500 to 500 BCE, was characterized by the composition of the Vedas, the oldest sacred texts of Hinduism, and the establishment of social, political, and religious foundations that would shape Indian civilization for millennia. The Indo-Aryans, who migrated from the northwestern regions, including modern-day Iran, Afghanistan, and Central Asia, settled primarily in the Punjab and the Saraswati River basin. This migration was likely driven by climatic changes and the search for new resources, leading them to establish themselves in the fertile plains of northwestern India. The early Vedic period, 1750 to 1000 BCE. The early Vedic period was characterized by a pastoral, semi-nomadic lifestyle with limited agriculture. The Indo-Aryans organized themselves into tribes, janas, and regularly clashed over land and resources. The Rig Veda, composed during this period, contains hymns praising various deities and mythological accounts of creation, along with descriptions of significant conflicts like the Battle of the 10 Kings. The society was primarily pastoral, with cattle serving as symbols of wealth and status. The Indo-Aryans preserved their religious and literary traditions through oral transmission, memorizing and reciting texts in Sanskrit, their sacred language. The later Vedic period, 1000 to 500 BCE. The later Vedic period witnessed significant social, political, and economic transformations. Agriculture became more prominent, and permanent settlements were established. The Varna system emerged during this period, creating a hierarchical social structure, with Brahmins, priests, kshatriyas, warriors, vaishyas, traders and farmers, and shudras, laborers and artisans, forming the four main social divisions. The Kuru kingdom emerged as the earliest Vedic state, formed by a confederation of several tribes. This period saw the development of new religious rituals, including the elaborate Ashwamedha, horse sacrifice, which demonstrated royal power and territorial claims. The composition of later Vedic texts, including the Upanishads and various sutras, laid the philosophical and ritualistic foundations of Hinduism. The Mauryan Empire, India's first great imperial power, 321 to 185 BCE. The Mauryan Empire represents one of ancient India's most significant political achievements, establishing the subcontinent's first pan-Indian imperial state. Founded by Chandragupta Maurya in 321 BCE, the empire would grow to encompass virtually the entire Indian subcontinent, leaving an indelible mark on Indian history and culture. Chandragupta Maurya, 321 to 297 BCE. Chandragupta Maurya's rise to power was facilitated by the political vacuum left after Alexander the Great's death in 323 BCE. Taking advantage of the chaos in northwestern India, Chandragupta, with the guidance of his mentor Chanakya, Kautilya, embarked on a systematic campaign of conquest. The first major achievement was the defeat of the Nanda Empire, which controlled much of northern India. Buddhist and Jain texts describe this as a hard-fought campaign involving guerrilla warfare tactics and the gradual conquest of frontier territories before the final assault on the Nanda capital of Pataliputra. With the establishment of his capital at Pataliputra, Chandragupta founded the Mauryan dynasty that would rule for over a century. Chandragupta's empire extended from the northwestern regions won from the Seleucid Empire to most of northern India. His military and administrative innovations established the foundation for effective imperial governance across vast territories. The reign of Ashoka the Great, 268 to 232 BCE. Under Chandragupta's grandson Ashoka, the Mauryan Empire reached its greatest territorial extent and cultural prominence. Ashoka's early reign was marked by military conquests, culminating in the brutal Kalinga War, 261 BCE, which reportedly resulted in over 100,000 casualties and 150,000 deportations. The aftermath of the Kalinga War marked a profound transformation in Ashoka's reign and in Indian history. Deeply affected by the war's carnage, Ashoka embraced Buddhism and adopted a policy of Dhamma, righteousness, emphasizing non-violence, compassion, and moral governance. This transformation is documented in his famous edicts, inscribed on pillars and rocks throughout the empire, which constitute some of India's oldest deciphered historical texts. Ashoka's administrative innovations included the establishment of a sophisticated bureaucratic system, the construction of roads and hospitals, and the promotion of animal welfare. His missionaries spread Buddhism to neighboring regions, including Sri Lanka, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia, contributing significantly to the religion's expansion beyond India's borders. Under Ashoka's patronage, art and architecture flourished, with the creation of magnificent stupas, pillars, and rock-cut caves that remain masterpieces of ancient Indian art. The Mauryan Empire began declining after Ashoka's death in 232 BCE, eventually collapsing in 185 BCE when the last ruler, Brihadratha, was assassinated by his commander Pushyamitra Shunga. The Classical Age. The Kushan Empire, bridge between civilizations, 375 CE. The Kushan Empire emerged as a crucial bridge between the civilizations of India, Central Asia, and China. Founded by Kujula Kadphises, the empire reached its zenith under Kanishka I, 127 to 150 CE. Who ruled an empire extending from Central Asia and Gandhara to Pataliputra on the Gangetic Plain. Kanishka's empire was administered from two capitals, Purushapura, modern Peshawar, and Mathura. His kingdom included Afghanistan, parts of present-day Pakistan, Punjab, Kashmir, parts of Magadha, Malwa, and territories extending into Central Asia. The empire's strategic location along the Silk Road made it a crucial center for international trade and cultural exchange. The Kushans were great patrons of Buddhism, and Kanishka played a pivotal role in the development and spread of Mahayana Buddhism. He convened the Fourth Buddhist Council in Kashmir and supported Buddhist scholars and institutions. Under Kushan patronage, the Gandhara school of art flourished, creating a unique fusion of Indian, Greek, and Central Asian artistic traditions. Kanishka's religious tolerance was reflected in his coinage, which featured deities from Indian, Greek, and Zoroastrian pantheons. This syncretistic approach facilitated cultural exchange and helped establish the Kushan Empire as a cosmopolitan center of ancient Asia. The Satavahana dynasty, guardians of the Deccan, 2nd century BCE, 3rd century CE. The Satavahana dynasty, also known as the Andhras in ancient texts, established the first major indigenous empire in the Deccan region. The dynasty's origins remain debated, but they emerged as a significant power in the post-Mauryan period, controlling territories across present-day Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and parts of Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat. The Satavahanas played a crucial role in maintaining stability in the Deccan region during the post-Mauryan period of political fragmentation. Their long struggle with the Western satraps, Sakas, dominated much of their history, representing the broader conflict between indigenous Indian powers and foreign invaders. Gautamiputra Satakarni, 106 to 130 CE, stands out as the greatest Satavahana ruler, whose conquests ranged from Rajasthan in the northwest to Andhra in the southeast. His achievements are celebrated in the Nanegat inscription, which provides valuable insights into Satavahana administration and culture. The Satavahanas were significant patrons of Buddhism and Hinduism, supporting the construction of cave temples at sites like Ajanta and Ellora. Their administrative system influenced later South Indian dynasties, and their promotion of Sanskrit and Prakrit literature contributed to the development of South Indian culture. The Pala Empire, Buddhist Renaissance in eastern India, 750 to 1174 CE. The Pala Empire emerged in Bengal during the 8th century, establishing one of medieval India's most significant Buddhist dynasties. Founded by Gopala, who rose to power during a period of anarchy in Bengal, the Pala Empire would rule Bengal and Bihar for over 4 centuries. Under Dharmapala, 770 to 810 CE, the empire expanded significantly, with Pala influence reaching as far as Kannauj. Devapala, 810 to 850 CE, continued the expansion, carrying out campaigns in northern India, the Deccan, and the Peninsula. The empire experienced a revival under Mahipala I, 988 to 1038, whose influence extended to Varanasi. The Palas were ardent supporters of Buddhism, and their patronage led to a remarkable Buddhist renaissance in eastern India. They established and maintained great centers of learning, including Nalanda and Vikramshila universities, which attracted scholars from across Asia. Under Pala patronage, Nalanda reached its greatest heights as a center of Buddhist learning and attracted students from China, Tibet, and Southeast Asia. The Palas developed a distinctive school of art, with noteworthy sculptures in stone and metal that influenced Buddhist art across Asia. Their support for Buddhism facilitated the religion's transmission to Tibet, where Pala missionaries played a crucial role in establishing Tibetan Buddhism. The empire's efficient administration extended from central government to local villages, with sophisticated tax collection systems that funded religious institutions and public works. The Golden Age. The Gupta Empire, 320 to 550 CE. The Gupta period represents what many historians consider the Golden Age of ancient India. The empire, founded by Sri Gupta and consolidated by his successors, marked a period of unprecedented cultural, scientific, and artistic achievement that profoundly influenced Indian civilization. The foundation and expansion. Chandragupta I, 320 to 335 CE, established the Gupta Empire's power base in eastern Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, with Pataliputra as the capital. Through strategic marriage alliances, particularly with the Lichavi clan, he strengthened his political position and expanded his territory to include Bengal and significant portions of northern India. Samudragupta, 335 to 375 CE, transformed the Gupta kingdom into a major empire through his policy of conquest and expansion. The Allahabad pillar inscription, composed by his court poet Harisena, provides a detailed account of his military achievements, describing how his rule extended over much of the Indian subcontinent, either directly or through vassalage. His successful military campaigns earned him the title Napoleon of India among some modern historians. Chandragupta II Vikramaditya, 376 to 415 CE, consolidated and expanded upon his predecessor's achievements, successfully defeating the Western satraps and incorporating Western India into the empire. His court became a center of learning and culture, hosting the famous 9 gems, Navratnas, including the great poet Kalidasa. Cultural and scientific achievements. The Gupta period witnessed remarkable achievements across multiple fields. In literature, this era saw the composition of classical Sanskrit works, including the final versions of the great epics Ramayana and Mahabharata. Kalidasa, often considered the greatest Sanskrit poet and dramatist, flourished during this period, creating timeless works like Shakuntalam and Meghaduta. Scientific advancement reached new heights during the Gupta period. Aryabhata, the great mathematician and astronomer, made groundbreaking contributions, including the concept of zero, the decimal system, and accurate calculations of the Earth's circumference and the length of the solar year. Varahamihira advanced astronomy and mathematics, while Sushruta made significant contributions to medicine and surgery. In art and architecture, the Gupta period established standards that influenced Indian artistic traditions for centuries. The cave paintings at Ajanta, the sculptures at Sarnath, and the iron pillar at Delhi demonstrate the period's artistic and technological achievements. Administrative excellence. The Gupta administrative system balanced central authority with local autonomy, creating an efficient and stable governance structure. The empire was divided into provinces, bhuktis, administered by governors, uparikas, which were further subdivided into districts and villages. This decentralized approach allowed for effective administration across the vast empire while respecting local traditions and customs. The Gupta legal system, based on the Dharmashastra tradition, provided a sophisticated framework for justice and governance. The period saw the codification of Hindu law and the development of administrative practices that influenced subsequent Indian dynasties. The empire's economic prosperity was built on agricultural surplus, thriving trade, and efficient taxation. The famous Gupta gold coins, with their artistic excellence and purity, testify to the empire's economic strength and technological sophistication. The rise of regional powers. Medieval transformations. The Pallava dynasty, architects of South Indian culture, 275 to 897 CE. The Pallava dynasty emerged as a major power in South India following the decline of the Satavahanas. Ruling from their capital at Kanchipuram, the Pallavas controlled significant portions of present-day Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh for over 6 centuries. The dynasty rose to prominence under Simhavishnu, 575 to 590 CE, who defeated the Kalabras and established Pallava supremacy in the region. The reign of Mahendravarman I, 600 to 630 CE, marked the beginning of the Pallava Golden Age, characterized by military expansion, cultural patronage, and architectural innovation. Narasimhavarman I, 630 to 668 CE, achieved the dynasty's greatest military triumphs, including the defeat and killing of the Chalukya king Pulakesin II. His victory at Vatapi earned him the title Vatapi Kondan, conqueror of Vatapi, and established Pallava dominance over much of South India. The Pallavas were great patrons of art and architecture, establishing the foundations of Dravidian architectural style. Their architectural legacy includes the magnificent shore temple at Mamallapuram, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the Kailasanathar temple at Kanchipuram. These temples represent the evolution of South Indian temple architecture and influenced architectural traditions across Southeast Asia. The dynasty also contributed significantly to the development of South Indian script and literature. The Pallava script evolved into the Grantha script, which gave rise to several Southeast Asian scripts, including Khmer. Chinese traveler Xuanzang visited Kanchipuram during Pallava rule and praised their efficient and benevolent administration. The Chola Empire, maritime power and cultural synthesis, 848 to 1279 CE. The imperial Chola dynasty represents one of medieval India's most significant maritime empires. Founded by Vijayala around 850 CE, the Cholas established a powerful empire that extended from South India to Sri Lanka, the Maldives, and parts of Southeast Asia. Aditya I, 871 to 907 CE, ended Pallava supremacy by defeating Aparajitavarman and annexing Tondaimandalam. Parantaka I, 957 to 973 CE, continued the expansion, defeating the Pandyas and the ruler of Ceylon, though he suffered a significant defeat against the Rashtrakutas at the Battle of Takkolam. The empire reached its zenith under Rajara Chola I, 985 to 104 CE, and his son Rajendra Chola I. Rajara's conquests included the complete conquest of Sri Lanka, the Maldives, and parts of the Malabar coast. His architectural legacy includes the magnificent Brihadisvara temple at Thanjavur, a masterpiece of Chola architecture. Rajendra Chola I expanded the empire further, conducting successful naval expeditions against the Srivijaya Empire in Southeast Asia. His conquests extended Chola influence to the Gangetic Plains, earning him the title Gangai Konda, conqueror of the Ganges. He established a new capital at Gangai Konda Cholapuram to commemorate his northern victories. The Chola administrative system was highly sophisticated, with detailed inscriptional records providing insights into village administration, taxation, and social organization. The famous Uttiramerar inscriptions detail the democratic village assemblies that managed local governance. Chola maritime power was unprecedented in medieval India, with their navy controlling sea routes from the Arabian Sea to the South China Sea. Their diplomatic relations extended to China, with regular embassies maintaining friendly relations with Chinese dynasties. The Vijayanagara Empire, the last great Hindu kingdom, 1336 to 1646. The Vijayanagara Empire emerged as the last great Hindu empire of South India, founded by the brothers Harihara and Bukkaraya in 1336 CE. Established in response to Muslim invasions from the north, Vijayanagara became a bulwark of Hindu culture and tradition in South India. The empire's capital, Hampi, ancient Vijayanagara, became one of the world's largest cities by 1500 CE, rivaling Beijing in size, and attracting traders from Persia, Portugal, and other distant lands. The city's magnificent architecture, sophisticated urban planning, and hydraulic engineering systems demonstrate the empire's advanced technological capabilities. The empire reached its zenith under Krishnadeva Raya, 1509 to 1529 CE, who was renowned as both a great warrior and a patron of arts and literature. His court hosted numerous scholars and poets, and he himself was an accomplished author in Telugu, Sanskrit, and Tamil. Vijayanagara's military innovations included the effective use of firearms and artillery, obtained through trade with the Portuguese. The empire maintained a powerful army with significant cavalry, infantry, and elephant corps that successfully resisted Muslim invasions for over 2 centuries. The empire's economy was based on agricultural surplus, extensive trade networks, and control of South Indians' diamond mines. The sophisticated administrative system balanced central authority with local autonomy, allowing diverse communities to maintain their traditions while contributing to the empire's prosperity. The Battle of Talikota in 1565 CE marked the beginning of Vijayanagara's decline, when a coalition of Deccan sultanates defeated the Vijayanagara army and sacked the capital. Although the empire survived in various forms until 1646, it never recovered from this devastating defeat. The medieval period. Islamic powers and Hindu resistance. The Delhi Sultanate. Islamic rule in North India, 1206 to 1526 CE. The Delhi Sultanate represented the first sustained period of Islamic rule in North India. Established by Qutbuddin Aibak in 1206 CE, the Sultanate encompassed 5 successive dynasties: the Mamluks, 1206 to 1290, Khaljis, 1290 to 1320, Tughlaqs, 1320 to 1413, Sayyids, 1414 to 1451, and Lodis, 1451 to 1526. The Tughlaq dynasty, 1320 to 1413 CE, represented both the Sultanate's greatest territorial expansion and its most dramatic experiments in governance. Muhammad bin Tughlaq's reign, 1325 to 1351 CE, was marked by ambitious but ultimately disastrous policies, including the transfer of the capital from Delhi to Dawlatabad and the introduction of token currency. Despite his failures, Muhammad bin Tughlaq's policies had long-term consequences for South Indian history. The transfer of Delhi's Muslim elite to Dawlatabad created a stable Muslim population in the Deccan, facilitating the later rise of the Bahmani Sultanate. His military campaigns in the Deccan, though destructive, established Islamic presence in peninsular India. The Delhi Sultanate's legacy includes significant architectural achievements, including the Qut Minar, Red Fort, and numerous mosques and tombs that blend Islamic and Indian architectural traditions. The period also witnessed the development of Indo-Islamic culture, with the emergence of new literary traditions and artistic styles. The Bahmani Sultanate, Islamic power in the Deccan, 1347 to 1527. The Bahmani Sultanate emerged from the rebellion against Muhammad bin Tughlaq's authority in the Deccan. Founded by Alauddin Hasan Bahman Shah, originally Zafar Khan, in 1347 CE, the Sultanate controlled much of the Deccan Plateau for nearly 2 centuries. The Sultanate's history was marked by constant warfare with its neighbors, particularly the Vijayanagara Empire to the south. These conflicts shaped the political landscape of medieval South India and influenced the development of military technology and tactics in the region. Under rulers like Muhammad Shah I, 1358 to 1375, and Feroz Shah Bahmani, 1397 to 1422, the Sultanate expanded its territory and defeated both the Vijayanagara Empire and various Hindu kingdoms. Ahmad Shah, 1422 to 1436, moved the capital from Gulbarga to Bidar, which became a major center of Islamic culture and learning. The reign of Muhammad Shah III, 1463 to 1482 CE, saw the Sultanate reach its greatest extent under the capable leadership of Mahmud Gawan, who served as regent and prime minister. Gawan's military campaigns extended Bahmani control over much of the Deccan, but his execution in 1481 CE marked the beginning of the Sultanate's decline. The Sultanate eventually fragmented into 5 successor states known as the Deccan Sultanates: Ahmadnagar, Bijapur, Berar, Golconda, and Bidar. These sultanates continued the Bahmani legacy while developing their own distinctive cultures and architectural traditions. The Deccan Sultanates: Synthesis and Conflict, circa 1490 to 1687. The 5 Deccan Sultanates emerged from the disintegration of the Bahmani Sultanate and represented unique examples of cultural synthesis in medieval India. Despite their diverse origins, including Deccani Muslims, Georgian slaves, and Iranian Turkmen, these sultanates created distinctive Indo-Islamic cultures that blended Persian, Turkish, Indian, and local traditions. Although generally rivals, the sultanates united against their common enemy, the Vijayanagara Empire, achieving their greatest collective triumph at the Battle of Talikota in 1565. This victory permanently weakened Vijayanagara and established the sultanates as the dominant powers in South India. The sultanates made significant contributions to architecture, with monuments like the Gol Gumbaz at Bijapur and the Char Minar at Hyderabad represent masterpieces of Indo-Islamic architecture. Their patronage of literature, music, and painting created distinctive regional cultures that influenced South Indian traditions for centuries. The Mughal conquest under Aurangzeb ended the independence of the Deccan Sultanates, with Bijapur falling in 1686 and Golconda in 1687. However, their cultural legacy continued to influence the region's art, architecture, and literature. Rajput kingdoms, guardians of Hindu tradition. The Rajput kingdoms emerged as significant powers in medieval India, representing both military valor and the continuity of Hindu traditions during periods of Islamic expansion. These kingdoms, scattered across present-day Rajasthan, Gujarat, and central India, developed distinctive cultures while maintaining their independence or autonomy. The Kingdom of Mewar stands out as the most prominent example of Rajput resistance to foreign rule. Under the Sisodia dynasty, Mewar consistently opposed first the Delhi Sultanate and later the Mughal Empire. The reign of Maharana Sangha, 1509 to 1528, represented Mewar's greatest power when the kingdom controlled large parts of northwestern India. Maharana Pratap, 1572 to 1597, became the symbol of Rajput resistance to Mughal rule, conducting guerrilla warfare from the Aravalli Hills and refusing to submit to Akbar despite enormous pressure. His legendary battle at Haldigati, 1576 CE, and subsequent resistance inspired generations of Rajputs and became part of Indian nationalist mythology. The Kingdom of Marwar, ruled by the Rathore dynasty, represented a different approach to Mughal relations. After initial resistance, the Rathores entered into alliance with the Mughals, contributing to imperial administration while maintaining significant autonomy. Rajput kingdoms made significant contributions to art, architecture, and literature. The magnificent forts at Chittor, Kumbhalgarh, and Mehrangarh, along with the palaces of Udaipur and Jodhpur, represent masterpieces of Rajput architecture. Their patronage of miniature painting created distinctive schools of art that influenced Indian painting traditions.